Yes, guys, welcome back to the Hezron Springer Show. Today is the 27th of May, a Tuesday, and for the last 2 weeks, it's been so sunny and hot and spectacular. But all of a sudden today, it's just turned into rain. Loads of rain, grey skies. It's terrible. And thank God, guys, I'm in here with you right now. Just to let you guys know, we are on Spotify, Apple, and Amazon Podcast, so you can listen to me there through high quality audio. And for those of you that don't want to watch through the whole show, just go to our Hezron Springer Show Clips channel on YouTube, and you can see the little tidbits, the best bits, edited out for you with the corresponding title. Easy to watch, easy to listen to, and you can enjoy my crispy sound. Today we got something really good, guys. We got Sadia Khan and Orion Teraband. These are two really smart intellectual people that I really do enjoy, and pretty much they're right about everything, but I want to add in my 2 cents to what they're talking about here on the Soft White Underbelly YouTube channel. So thank you for them for posting it. They talk about relationship dynamics and the psychology of it and the kind of philosophy behind it. So I want to add my 2 cents to know the Hezron Springer style, and we're going to get through it together, guys, and have a good time. So without further adu, let's get into it.
I mean, tell me the difference between being the adorer and the adoree. Like in all relationships, there's usually one person who really, really loves their partner, perhaps more than the other.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it like an example of that. I don't know if you know Selena Gomez. She's currently dating this guy, and I saw it go viral. And she used to be with Justin Bieber. And you can see she's with a man that truly adores her, worships her. But until a woman is attracted to you, your adoration is interpreted as neediness and desperation. The only thing that will turn a man's adoration into security is if she finds you attractive. And
What she's basically saying there is, if the girl does not like you to begin with, whatever interest you show to her is going to be taken as neediness, desperation, and something that's not very attractive to her. Whereas if the girl's already attracted to you, doing the same exact actions is going to be seen as a positive thing. You see, with women, the same action from two different guys gets two complete different results. Put it this way, if I phone up a girl at 2 a.m. in the morning that I barely know, she'd be like, what the hell are you doing chatting to me for? Get away. But if Cristiano Ronaldo comes and calls her and she sees that on her page at 2 a.m. in the morning on her phone, she'd be like, yeah, what's up, bro? You want to go out for dinner like tonight? Like, well, not tonight, this morning. With girls, the same action can be taken, but her response will be decided by her attraction level towards you.
she's attracted to you as a man. If she doesn't find you attractive, she will utilize your adoration. Maybe she needs you financially or to help her feel heal from an ex or just help you with her mental state, any way, shape or form. But she won't truly be attracted to you. And you'll notice
Yeah, she will use you for the material stuff. In other words, material utility, because she hasn't got the need for emotional utility from you because she's not attracted to you. You see, there's two ways of attracting a woman to be in your life: emotional utility and material utility. Most guys can only provide one, but if you can provide both, you're into a winner. But a lot of the guys can only provide material utility. So if you're that guy, she will use you for traveling places, using you as a taxi ride to places, using you to take out for dinner and get a free lunch, get a free dinner, get free food. But she will never love you in that way. Hence why I always tell guys, choose a girl who is already interested in you. Because if you don't, she'll take you to the cleaners.
heavy decline in the sexual intimacy on her end, despite your efforts to make her feel safe. It just won't be initiated from her. And that will happen quite early on in the relationship. And she'll be, sometimes I'll meet these men that dating women who are 28 years old, 29 years old, and they're like, oh, she just doesn't have a sex drive. And I always say, with you. The key word is with you. She has an...
And I've seen so many guys in relationships where you can kind of tell, like, it's quite obvious, like, that your girl's not really that into you, bro. She's only using you for what you have to offer, your material utility. And a woman can never love you unless she's investing emotionally first. And there's so many guys that put up with only having that material relationship with women because they haven't got many options, but we'll get into that further into this video.
Amazing sex drive. At 28, what woman doesn't have a sex drive? It's with you is the key point. And hyper adoring a woman who doesn't.
And it is quite sad because so many men, because of their lack of options, are so content with just having a woman around regardless of what she actually offers him. I've known, including my own family, not my close family, but in my distant family, cousins, aunties, whatever, I've seen a few relationships where the guy is just so happy to have the woman that he is like a lapdog. They say in pelele in Spanish, that he will happily sleep on the couch, not get sex for like years and live through that. And I just find that like, wow, because me, that will never run. If I'm not getting equal response back from my woman, I'm not going to be with her. It will never even happen to begin with. And that's because I have options. So I don't need to be desperate around these streets. You get it? I have options. I can go out tonight, get a new girl if I want to. Not a problem, because I'm that level of attractiveness. But majority of guys don't have that. So they will put up with a girl not treating them right. They will put up with their wife not sleeping with them for weeks at a time, months at a time, even years at a time, which is just crazy to me. They will put up with bad behavior, bad treatment, being talked about badly around her friends.
And quite admire you is the quickest way to desexualize yourself.
Yeah.
What would you say, Orion?
Yeah, it's sort of like the part that women always leave out is you ask women what they want. They say they want a kind man, they want a loyal man, they want a man to treat her like a queen, to
A kind man that they're attracted to.
adore her. But the part they leave out is they want all of those things from a man they're already attracted to.
Yeah.
And they've already decided to be attracted to that man without knowing yet whether he's kind or loyal or devoted.
Yeah.
So attraction isn't actually predicated on those things, it's predicated on other things.
And often women are attracted to the guys that have those attractive traits, but they don't treat them right. And there's a reason for that, because the guys that are quickly attractive to women don't need to be nice. They don't need to treat her well in a way, because they already have her because they're attractive, I guess it's like once you become successful at what you do, you become a bit used to it. And you don't have to put in as much effort. So it's not that women are attracted to bad guys. It's that they're attracted to guys that have attractive qualities which happen to be bad, because they don't need to be a lapdog like all the nice guys, because they're already attractive.
And so as a man, we need to say that part out loud to other men and say, you need to work on becoming an attractive man, and the other stuff can come later. Because if you prioritize the one ahead of the other, you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah. I always tell men to build your worth before you even get into the relationship. You need to be playing this like a game almost. Like you're going to build your stats. Like you see in those MMORPGs, massive multiplayer online role-playing games, you kind of build your experience points and you build your skill levels and you max your stats until you can wield a weapon or do a magic spell or mine a specific type of ore. It's not almost, but it's kind of the same thing in relationships. You need to be coming in with a skill level and be attractive for the woman, because if you're not coming into your relationship with some level of attractiveness, she will never respect you. And I've seen so many guys play that strategy where they're not actually working on themselves first before getting into a relationship. And what always happens is they just get used, stepped on and abused, because that man really has nothing to offer a woman. So once he gets into a relationship, there's nothing for him to do because he has nothing. And a man that has nothing can't really be respected by a woman. You've got to come into a relationship with something. I'm not saying you've got to be rich, a movie star and 6'2" and 6 foot abs. But what I'm saying is you've got to bring something to the table. Women like you for a reason, right? You got to bring something. And I've always told a lot of the people that I know to do that method where you just build your skill level. Like, nah, Hezron, I'm going to get my girlfriend. Guess where they are now? They're divorced. All of them are divorced. Because once they got onto that long-term relationship with the woman started to realize, oh crap, this man actually has nothing to offer me. and then they got stepped on, abused, bad talked about, rah, rah, rah. It's nuts. You can't just play it like a roulette. You got to come in to your relationship with something to offer and something to build. I think it's even less having something to offer initially, but more so your wife can see that there's something to be built upon and she can see a future. If your woman can't see a future where you're leveling up in all ways, it will never work out for the best in the long term.
What I do find is men are quite delusional about that. They
Sure.
I think she's really into me. I can just tell, right? They want to believe a woman is far more attracted to him than she truly is. And they will ignore all the signs and take the tiny, tiny glimpses of hope that she's attracted to him. And I think that's a recipe for disaster for me.
Well, that's because he has little options, Sadia. Okay? As compared to you, you're a beautiful woman. I'm sure, even in I think you're in your mid-30s now, you will have more options than the majority of guys, whether they be 20, 25, 30, 45, 50. She has more options than most guys on this planet, regardless of age. Possibly even regardless of status, because she's a beautiful woman, lovely hair, talks well, seems to be very emotionally in control. She's coming from a place of abundance, like most women do, because most women have abundance when it comes to the opposite sex. She has no idea what it feels like to be a man starting off with nothing and ending off this life with nothing too. Most men are in scarcity mode. Most men, it's like winning the lottery for most men to have a woman genuinely attracted to them. It's so rare for most men to have that lifestyle. Only very few men have an abundance lifestyle. Very few high value and alpha men have that kind of lifestyle where women are abundant. The average man's life is like, a girl might like me, like properly into me, like once a year, twice a year. And for a lot of men, never. So once they get a woman that's even feeding them breadcrumbs, that's like gold to them. Okay, because when you're hungry, anything tastes good, right? It's like when you're in the Sahara Desert and you haven't drank water for like 2, 3, 4, 5 days. You start imagining an oasis because anything, any glimmer of hope is worth something to you because you're so desperate for it. And most men are in the Sahara Desert, geez. Most men are thirsty because they're so often denied of validation, especially emotional validation from women, that any little glimmer of hope is like winning the lottery itself. Okay? These guys don't need to see all the winning numbers on the lotto to get excited. They just see one lotto number out of 10 and they're like, oh my God, wow, it's gonna happen. Because most guys don't have very favorable interactions with women. Most men are invisible to women and they go through life not being seen, not being heard, not being understood. So yes, Sadia, anything of a glimmer of hope, they're going to turn into the biggest prize ever.
Men when they misread a woman's signals of attraction.
Well, sure, if you're used to not eating at all, even crumbs taste delicious,
Yeah.
right? And I think a lot of men don't have good optionality with women. And
Yeah.
so they definitely misinterpret small signs of interest as...
Listen, it's not that they misinterpret it. It's that they're deluding themselves into it because the alternative is far worse. Realizing that you actually have no worth to women, okay? Realizing that the woman doesn't actually love you for you, which doesn't really exist, to be honest with you, but realizing that you have, realizing that you have nothing much to offer women, and for that reason, no woman is really attracted to you in the way you really want her to be attracted to you. Let's put it that way. So it's not that they're misinterpreting it. It's not that they're logically not understanding what's going on. It's that they have no options and they're damn thirsty and they're just imagining things, deluding themselves into any glimmer of hope because the reality of it is so stark for most men that the delusion is better. The delusion is better. For the same reason, people that have been abused for a long time, they often get attached to their abuser, because the opposite, the real reality is so stark and so detrimental to their mental health that they'd rather lie to themselves. If that man somehow switched into a alpha male, high value man overnight, believe me, they'd read the signs just as well as anyone else. It's not that they can't read signs, it's just that they have nothing else to live for.
In fact, we know that men are also more prone to misinterpret just general friendliness as sexual interest than women are.
Wrong.
That's why every man has fallen in love with a barista at some point. She's just doing her job.
Yes, she's just doing her job, but for that guy, that's the only girl that smiled at him for the whole month. It's not misinterpretation. It's their only option. And I'm surprised, honestly, that Orion's getting this so wrong. They're not logically dumb. Most guys aren't logically stupid at all. Even if, logically, we know that she's obviously in her job getting paid. If she's in a country like America, she wants a tip, so she's going to work half that tip by being nice to you. We know that. But for that guy, that is the only woman that smiled to him, possibly has talked to him on that friendly level, and has smiled at him and laughed with him. That is the only interaction he has had from a woman for months. He knows he's paying for the service deep down inside, but the reality of it is so stark, he'd rather delude himself. Men aren't stupid. They're thirsty.
Yeah, you did a really great short. I wish I could remember it. It was something about the man not when he's not attractive. Even her buying a birthday cake is super exciting. Do you know what I'm referring to?
Yeah, it's check-in. Well, I forget the title of that episode.
Something to do with attraction.
Listen to Yourself, I think, is the name of that episode. And some guys just really have to sell themselves on the idea that a woman is interested in him. And I sometimes ask for examples, and the examples of her behavior that...
Yes, they have to sell themselves on that idea because they have nothing else. This is getting stupid, really, honestly.
So basic, so minimal, like really the bare minimum any person should expect from a girlfriend or a partner. Yeah. But maybe that's more than that man has ever received from a woman previously. Yeah. Now, I do think that women are kind of deluded too.
Yeah, I do agree. I have to, and I didn't realize how bad it was until I started working with men who are a little bit, maybe they're like 5'8", but a 5'1" woman will say, no, that's way too short. That's way too short for me. And I'm just thinking, but 7 inches is a huge gap in your height. So, and these women, as they get older and everything changes, they still have the same expectations they had at 25. So a woman that will hit,
if not more,
35 will still say, I want a man with no kids. But at 35, you should want a man with kids just in case you can't give them to him. It should save you a lot of that rigmarole just in case. You know, you should adapt your expectations as you age. Or you can adapt and say, maybe I need to go somebody, maybe he's just 5 or 6 inches taller. It doesn't have to be a whole couple of feet taller than me. There's no adaptation with their type as they age. And if anything, they get fussier. And that really hinders their ability to settle down.
Well, I think they get fussier because they're using the same metric on themselves that they use to judge men. They think, well, here at 40, I'm making $500,000 a year. Yeah.
Women need to understand that them materially having more is actually unattractive to men. Because the more a woman has, the less she'll find men attractive, because now she wants a man that's making more money than her. So the more money she makes, the less men she finds attractive. So therefore, less men find her attractive. And it's just crazy to me that so many women that are, on the surface of it, logically smart, think that they can get the same type of man at 35 that they could get at 21. And I guess it's the same thing as the delusion of the man before. They're deluding themselves, because if they were to tell themselves the truth, it would not be good for their mental health, because the truth of the matter is, you at 40 cannot get the same caliber of man as when you're at 21. You have achieved more, you have a high position at work, and it all means absolutely nothing, especially to a high value alpha male, which a lot of you women want. So it's more hypocritical the higher the value the man you want. And you women that have all that money and successful and alpha in your job or whatever, you want an alpha male. And that man, he doesn't find any of those attractive. He'd rather find a 25-year-old who is making barely anything but feminine, inspirational. That is more attractive to him. But I understand why women delude themselves, because it's a stark reality. It's like, what? I become older, I become wiser, I have more things, and this doesn't add to my value? What the hell? I logically understand it, because guess what? I play the same game. As me, as a man, as I get more money, as I get more status, as I grow older, I get more women. So I can understand the frustration, because if I didn't have that mechanic, I'd be annoyed. I'd be like, telling me that I could get more girls at 21 when I had nothing than I have now? That would be mad for me. Because it's like, why have I worked so hard? I'm trying to understand both sides here. They're thinking to themselves, why have I done all this hard work for? Has it all been in vain? Yes. Does it mean nothing in terms of finding a man? Yes. Does it especially mean nothing in terms of finding a high value alpha male that's successful? Hell yes. It was all a waste. In terms of finding a man, 99% of your success in your professional field is a waste. And guess what? Most of you guys haven't got careers anyway. So you guys going on and on and on about putting my career first. Most people, both men and women, haven't even got careers anyway. You've got a job. You've got a boring job which you don't even like. You haven't got a career. You've got a job. Okay? If you're a singer, if you're a lawyer, okay, you're a doctor, you can talk to me about career. Most of you, you've got a dead-end job that doesn't go anywhere, hasn't got a long-term life success which is bigger than just the money, doesn't change the world. Most of you got just a boring job which you wouldn't do if you wouldn't get paid for it. A big way to see if your job is a career or not is whether you would still do it even if you didn't get paid. Doctors would still perform doctor duties every so often and save lives even if they didn't get paid. Okay? I would still make videos around my business even if I'm not getting paid. I mean, I'm not getting paid right now. A lot of the work we do for my clients, we don't get paid up front because we're trying to get new clients and build the business. But most of you guys have got jobs. Okay? So you sacrificed your family for a job. Yes, that's far worse than sacrificing your family for a career. Because at least a career has upward momentum and the chance to change the world and change lives around you. But most of you just got a dead-end job, paid by the hour, have set benefits, nothing else. You wasted it all for a job. Yeah, that's the reality. And I understand perfectamente why that is so sad. Porque es tan triste. Entiendo perfectamente, sí. See, I really do. Because you put so much work into it, and the feminist world, well, the pseudo-feminist world that they're calling it now, they have lied to you and tricked you to tell you that your career, which is really your job, is more important. And then you follow their lies, their scam, their propaganda, and it's been, you're 35, 40 and you have no family. And you realize that all of the work you did in your career, well, your job, was worth nothing. You were scammed. And being scammed isn't a nice feeling whatsoever. Te entiendo perfectamente. And con claridad, sí. I understand that perfectly. Sí. I really do. But that doesn't mean a high value man that you want has to put up with it. That's not our problem. It's not our problem. The same way, if men fall for the propaganda that they are dished up when they're young, it's not a beautiful woman's problem to put up with a man that's not successful. Okay, so your loss in this game isn't the problem of the man that you want. That's your problem. You should have outbeat the game from years ago, but you decided to follow the propaganda instead of listening to what men really want. You know, men are ignored. Even a lot of high value men, they're ignored about what they really want. I can talk about how men want beautiful, slim, feminine, and younger women as much as I want, but doesn't mean that the world will want to agree with me. Most women will not agree with me. But at the end of the day, for the women that want that guy, which is most women, they're going to pay the price, not the high value man, because yes, there is less and less feminine women than there were before, but they're still around. Okay, so those high value men will whip up those feminine women quick. Okay, so they'll win ultimately. But all the women that decided to ignore the needs and the wants of men, they're going to pay the price.
And I'm a manager, and I've had all of these experiences, and I have a master's degree. And those are potentially signs of success in education and conscientiousness that they're looking for in men, but men don't use those criteria on women.
No.
So it's a failure of perspective taking on women's part.
Yeah, and I can say this as a woman in her 30s, I would still say, even if I might look better on paper than a woman in her 20s, they would still choose a woman in her 20s if they could. It's just a fact of life. It's nothing to be ashamed of or embarrassed about. And I say...
You see with Sadia, she's an interesting woman, okay? Because what she's saying is true, okay? But from what I know of most women, very few women would genuinely admit that to themselves, okay? So I'm wondering if Sadia is playing us, not on the level of lying or anything, but she's just telling and saying the right things which men want to hear. But she might not believe it or live by it. I need to know more about her, because she's saying all of those points which men really agree to, and I think she is tapping on the needs of men in terms of social media and YouTube. So I'm wondering if she's just saying it, but really and truly, does she really internalize it? I can't answer that question because I don't know her in real life. I'd have to know her in real life, but it's just an interesting question to ask because she's saying all the right things, just like a smooth player. Okay? So is Sadia Khan, and I love you by the way, Sadia. This is no offense to you. This is just merely a hypothesis, a theory. Are you just saying all these things and acquiring loads of male subscribers because you're one of the few pretty women out there to actually say what we want to hear? Or do you actually internalize it? I don't know. It's merely a question, Sadia. I'd love to see you one day and talk to you. You're a very beautiful woman and very intellectual, but I'd have to know a bit more.
This is quite an educated, and I've got a lot going for me. I still know a relatively not as smart, maybe not even as attractive 28-year-old would still do better. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just that's how life progresses. But I think the uncomfortable truth about that keeps women single for a lot longer than they should be.
What do you mean?
As in, they think that they have more to offer, so they should be more desirable.
Their desirability peaks out
because
in their-
So they wait for the successful man that they think they're going to get. But really and truly, that successful man left them 20 years ago. The successful man that you could have got as a woman, it will never be with you at 40. He's with you at 25.
They're more intelligent, they're calmer than a 25-year-old, they're more intelligent than a 25-year-old, they might be, more educated than a 25-year-old, but that doesn't actually play out in the real world, unfortunately. And I say this as an older woman, it's not the end of the world if it does reduce your options, but you have to adapt your standards as you age.
Is it better to be a woman today than it was?
An attractive woman, yes.
An
attractive, promiscuous woman, there's never been a better time to be alive.
I mean, with OnlyFans and social media and XXX websites, those women can run the show when it comes to making money. When it comes to actually having a good life, though, Are they really winning? Not at all. Okay, I don't care if an OnlyFans model was making £1 million a day. She's lost life fundamentally because, one, should never be rated in society. Okay, both men and women don't rate a promiscuous nude woman on social media. Okay, so she's not winning there. She's not winning at the top of the social hierarchy. And even more importantly, she's not going to win with a real quality guy. A real quality guy will never choose that type of woman. So therefore, she's never going to raise a great family. That's what life's all about. Life's all about procreation. Even for men, money is great, success is great. Don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, having a great family is one of the most powerful things you could ever do. Okay? And an OnlyFans model, no matter how much money she's making, will never be in the position of having a great family. It just doesn't function. Because a great man will never choose her. Why? Why would he choose her? When he could choose a lovely God-fearing woman that closes up, only loves him and shares her body with him and him alone. Why would a good man that's worked so hard to become a good man, to become an alpha male, to become high value, why would he choose to get less than when he can get better?
I see these 19-year-old girls on OnlyFans making millions, and there's no way a 19-year-old man can ever do that. So I think being an attractive woman in this day and age has never been a better time. All you have to do is post a picture of you, and you'll be flown out, you'll be taken to places. Men will pay anything to have access to you like this, and you can...
Access to you, but not to wife you. Big difference. They'll pay to sleep with you for a night, do your thing, leave you. But those guys that can afford your price, those high-value guys, they will never, ever deal with you for a long-term commitment. That's the point Saudi is leaving out right there. Okay? They'll play with you for a night, one night stand, use you, bye-bye, you're gone.
Manipulate any man you want, any man. And a lot of men have this idea that, but there's so many girls. Yeah, there's so many girls, but not all girls are willing to sell their soul to do what you want them to do. So there's only a limited women that can do that. And those limited women have a complete monopoly over the market when it comes to men.
Yeah, I think that women have always sort of wanted to be around $1 million. Mm-hmm. And for the first time in human history, it might be easier for the average woman to get $1 from 1 million men than $1 million from one man. Mm-hmm. But do you think it's just easier for attractive promiscuous women? You think non-promiscuous women are having a hard time?
They don't stand a chance, because men will attach to great sex, not great women. Period.
Okay. Average men will attach to great sex and not great women. Okay, high value men, they can only attach to great women. Not because they don't enjoy the good sex, of course they do, but a true high value man is concerned about his long-term future. And they know a promiscuous, great sex, boom, it won't lead anywhere. It won't raise great kids. So he'll use them, but not commit to them, okay? However, for average men, they don't care about any of that. And that's why they're average, because they don't care about greater traits, about anything, even in themselves. If an average man doesn't care about making himself great, why the hell would he even want a great woman? So that's why average men don't care about great women, because they're not looking for greatness in themselves. Ooh, that's harsh. But it's true. Average men are ruining it for great women, because now there are less great men to go around. So many average men don't feel the need to level up because they can get a quickie from a hoe. They can go on porn. They can go on OnlyFans. They can date a woman that's sleeping with 20 guys around the barrio, around the neighborhood, and not have to really commit. So the need for commitment around average men isn't really there anymore. But I still believe that it is for the high value man, because the high value man needs a long-term security, a long-term future. And that can only be really achieved with a great woman, because after a certain point of success, no one's going to be around you if you're still single. You need to be a unit to have the utmost of respect in society. That is how it works. So a high value alpha male's totally concerned of finding a great woman, because it's the only way for him to win. So in a way, it's quite self-serving. He might not even have a great woman as a primary need, or a primary want, shall I say. But he knows he needs her because it's the only way for him to ultimately win.
And at the moment you are a great woman with the inability to please a man sexually, you do not stand a chance. Those days where they used to appreciate the fact that she's a great cook, she's great with my mum, she would be a really caring stepmom, are replaced with she knows how to.
Well, I mean, that is true, but it's like the same way I tell all men to become successful and make good money is the same way we should be telling women, yeah, you have to learn how to be good at sex. Like, why is that a optional thing for marriage? That's like saying, men, you don't have to be making money. You don't have to provide. The same way men are required to have many requirements to fulfill the standards of the majority of women, is the same way women need to have their standards too. And one of them is to be good at sex. I mean, that's basic. I mean, if you're going to marry a man and commit to him for the rest of your life, I mean, how else are you going to keep him faithful to you? Sex is a skill. You've got to learn how to do it. You've got to practice. You've got to read books. Become better at it. It's a skill. You have to learn how to become good at it. That's like saying to a musician, well, don't practice your guitar. Don't learn how to be good at it. Just rock up to the show. Imagine telling a musician, just, it's the Wireless Festival. It's the O2 Arena, Wembley Stadium. Madison Square Gardens. But guess what? You don't have to practice. It's optional. You being good at the guitar is optional. Just rock up however you feel. Because of this feminist agenda that we have today, that's not real feminism. Women are allowed to have being good as an option, okay? But here's the thing. It's only optional to an average man. You get into the realm of high value men, it's not an option. It's not an option. You better be good at what you do. You better be pleasing him. Otherwise, his head will be swayed by other women who are going after him. Okay? High value men have options, and it's easy for them to exercise them because women are generally attracted to them. So if you're not pleasing your man as a wife of a high value male, what the hell do you expect to happen? That's like never cleaning your car and asking everyone, what happened to my car? Why it's so dirty? Well, you got it that way, babe. That was on you. Your job as a partner or wife to a high value male is to keep his appetite under control. And you do that by feeding him great food. I'm speaking both literally and metaphorically right now, ladies and gents. You got to feed the beast. This guy is powerful. This guy is strong. This guy is, he's not a guy that's going to sit back and think, you know what, guys, I don't care if it's going to be sex. I want to stay back here and I'm going to bat it out for the marriage. No. You don't give your high value man sex. He's gone. Why the hell would he stay with you? If your aim is to marry a high value man, all of your skills need to be running on extreme. You've got to be good looking. You've got to be giving good sex. You've got to be looking after the house. You've got to be feminine. You've got to be beautiful, looking after your appearance. You've got to be slim. You've got to make him look good in front of his peers, associates, colleagues, employees. You've got to be pretty much perfect, actually. Okay? The same way men expect high-value men to be perfect. You've got to make 100k a year, which is like a small percentage of the population. You've got to have a good job of status, educated, six-pack, 6'2". That's pretty much perfect, because that is such a small percentage of the population that, my God, that is pretty much perfect. So if you require the high value man to be perfect, you've got to be perfect too. But the problem is too many women don't see it as an equilibrium. They see it as it going one way. Well, I'm just a woman. I've got a JJ, so he better be happy with that. I ain't bringing the table. I'm the table, they say. Okay, cool. That is true until you meet a high value man. And guess what? The game changes, sis. Babe, the game changes. When you're around a real man, he's going to have plenty of requirements for you. And if you don't fulfill it, guess what? Next. plenty of feminine, lovely women around that will fulfill his needs. So yeah, you've got to have it all.
Give me a great blowjob. She knows what to wear. She knows what in bed, and she knows how to do her nails the way I like it. Every quality that made a good woman is now being replaced with every quality that makes a great sexual experience. And so promiscuity is far more important than attraction than ever before.
I think it's still probably a good time to be alive if you're an attractive woman and
But without
promiscuity. Yeah. Because there's only so many attractive women, and promiscuous attractive women are even a smaller subset than that. And most men are not getting laid by super attractive promiscuous women.
Yeah, but do you think that they would choose a promiscuous woman over an attractive woman?
An average man would, a high value man wouldn't, in terms of commitment.
If they had a
Sometimes.
choice, if you had a
Sometimes
choice
they do.
between great sex but she's not your favorite, or beautiful but you don't like the sex with her, what do you think men on the whole would select?
It depends.
Yeah, on the whole, they would select the woman with great sex. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree.
The ego boost that comes from the...
Because that's what they're missing, okay? Whereas for a high value man, great sex isn't missing from their life because they can attain many women. In fact, a great woman is what's missing from a high value man's life. Because great sex isn't that hard to find, as Sadia says in this video. Ugly women can do great sex, hot women can find great sex, mediocre women, average women, all women of all different types can give great sex. But to find an actual great woman that has all those other attributes and all the other traits is far more rare. So actually the case is for average men, they're missing great sex because no one's really attracted to them. So they will choose the women with great sex. But because the high value man can already obtain a woman that can give them great sex, what they're now missing is a great woman, a great overall woman, a powerful woman that can be of a great wife to him. That is a rarity. Great sex can come and go, but a great woman, much rarer, but still possible to find.
Attractive woman is very seductive for some men. I do think that that's a trap.
But I think there's a lot of guys that would just take a piece of ass when they can get it.
And they'd hurt the great, beautiful, attractive woman to
No, I
access.
mean, there is no more valuable commodity in our culture than an attractive female.
Yeah.
But I think that a lot of guys just like to get laid.
Well, I've also found that a lot of attractive women aren't necessarily great at sex. We believe that the hotter the woman is, the hotter she's going to be in bed, the better she's going to be in bed. That's not necessarily true at all. And in fact, that's one way that less attractive women can potentially
and a man in a regular way. And as a young girl, you have the option of going through heartache and attaching to a man in a regular way and him disappointing you, which is what usually the experience is when you're not materialistic. Or you go down the materialistic route where you just turn off your emotions, see men as a job and fall in love with what they offer you rather than who they are. And if it doesn't work out, no problem, you've got another one. And you keep yourself kind of pain-free in that way. So
yeah, cool. So the woman that's only a gold digger, she will win in the short term because she'll be making money and living a great lifestyle. But in the long term, does she actually win though? Okay. Does the gold digger actually win? So all you boys that are like so resentful because it's really easy for a woman to be a gold digger, don't be jealous of these people. Don't be envious. Don't be resentful that they can get and obtain the opposite sex easier than you can, because guess what? By the time they're 60, 70, they've lost the game. Actually, no, before the time they're 40 and 50, what have they got? They haven't got a strong family unit. They haven't got a husband that loves. So yeah, they can run around abusing and neglecting men their whole lives, but in the end, who's really going to have the last laugh, okay?
So I think social media doesn't help in that way, and the entitlement is just growing and growing to the point where even somebody like me, I find that if you're a woman and you don't give advice from the perspective of a gold digger or an escort, you will get...
And I don't have a problem with women that are gold diggers. To find a man attractive because he is able to procure more resources isn't some sort of immoral thing. Here's the thing though. I have a problem who are only gold diggers, who are only searching for a man that has money. That's where the problem is. If you're only searching for a man that can give you money and material things, it will never lead to a great relationship. It's a flawed strategy. You need to be looking for a man that has money, but then who also has those great fundamental traits that you're looking for. Ambitious, caring, kind, loving to his potential children. A pillar of the community. Yeah, but then also has money, successful, goes after what he wants, goes after his dreams. Yeah. Gold diggers who only look for a man with money are as flawed in their strategy as men who only go for looks. With both strategies, both sexes will in the long term arrive nowhere.
Endless women saying, pick me, pick me, pick me, you're a pick me. But if I was here saying, this is how you take money from a man, this is how you steal money, this is how you cheat on him, I would be revered by women. I would literally have millions of followers and they would repost me all day, every day. So
yeah, you're right, initially. But your long-term results, Sadia, are better doing it this way because guess what? You're respected by pretty much most men and most women, okay? So you can still enter high value places. You can go to places of high value net worths. Whereas if you were that hoe, gold digger that, where are you going? No one's checking for you. So actually, Sadia's done what a lot of men do, what a lot of smart men do, and it's delayed gratification. Because she's a hot woman, she could easily go naked on OnlyFans and make loads of money. But I think she has realized, because she's of a higher IQ, clearly, that if she plays this game, the long-term rewards are going to be far greater.
The fact that the female audience is hungry for that sugar baby escort woman teaching you how to get men shows what's happened to society and to women in general.
I think that's always been the case, though. I might be a little bit more cynical. Like, you can go on Seeking Arrangements, right, the sugaring site, and it runs the spectrum. There are women there who are just straight up prostitutes and they're selling sex for money. But there's also, on the other side, women who say, I just want a traditional relationship. I want to be taken care of. I'll clean, I'll cook, and I'll be your wife.
Yeah, I don't know how many high value men are going to Seeking Arrangements though, Ryan.
So I think that traditional housewifery is on the same sugaring spectrum as prostitution. It's just a little bit more classy.
Right.
But I still think that these tactics about like how to get money from a man, how to get his attention, how to take him for all he's worth, like grandmothers were teaching their...
Look, I don't have a problem with those strategies and learning the strategies, how to get a man, how to make a man, enjoy you, rah, rah, rah. But the problem with it, just like the red pillars, is their solution is wrong. What they're doing with the information that they're getting in terms of how to get a high value man, how to please him, rah, 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 that is all correct. But what they're doing with the information ultimately is wrong because all they're going to do is take the money and run. Whereas if they had the mindset of, how do I attain that man, keep him happy, raise a long-term family, great, their life would be for the better. But in this generation where we can't even watch a video for more than 5 seconds, I'm looking at you, TikTok, women and men, both, they do not delay gratification anymore. Both sexes do not delay gratification. But here's the thing. Men are almost forced into delaying gratification to get what they want. Whereas for a woman, you can just be pretty, just be sexy, and not delay your gratification by gaining those great women traits like being feminine, being loving, caring, developing your character, etc., and still get away with it. So women are in a position where they do not have to delay their gratifications because there's so many simpy pelele men out there anyway that they can go through their life being perpetually immature, foolish, redundant, and without looking at what the possibilities for their consequences will do for their long-term future. Men, to get anywhere in life, they always have to be thinking about the future. It's the only way. But for women, they can get yacht parties, get a rich man now, boom, 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 get these short-term results and get away with it in the short term only, whereas men, they will never get a woman without long-term results. So in a way, the choice that women have in terms of going for or short-term goal digging strategy and then going for a long-term strategy where they settle down with a man that they love and emotionally bonding, rah, rah, rah. The fact that they have the choice is actually detrimental to them. In this society that we have today, hoy en día, nowadays, the propaganda is that choice is a good thing. Who the hell told you that? The elites. Choice is often a bad thing because then you get stuck with option paralysis. You know, I went down to America, California, in November, and we went shopping to get some supplies, things like that. And oh my God, the amount of Tropicana that they have. Tropicana vitamins, Tropicana of this flavor, Tropicana of grape, Tropicana. There was like, I don't know, 30 options of Tropicana. We're in England, sorry. There's literally only 2. Tropicana smooth, Tropicana non-smooth. And then sometimes you might get Tropicana, like tropical, different flavors. But 90% of the time, it's 2 flavors. And then I went to the milk section. Oh my God, it's like a whole aisle just for milk. And I think it was Kmart or Target. We were in Target. And there was like a whole aisle, like, I don't know, 20 feet long, 30 feet long aisle. Just of different types of milk. And it's like, how do I choose which one that I want? Where in England, it's just like, okay, semi-skimmed, skimmed, or whole milk. 1 out of 3 choices, boom, let's go. So women having this choice is actually detrimental to them because the short-term option seems so sweet. Just the same way the Garden of Eden, the snake sounded sweet because the short-term always sounds sweet by definition. But I tell you what, ladies and gents, the more you strategize with the long term in all that you do, the more you'll win. In pretty much every situation where there's a long term and a short term option, the short term will always F you over in the near future. Whereas the long term option will give you blessing upon blessing upon blessing in the long term future, often in perpetuity. But too often, because we are so emotionally weak to wait things out these days, because we can't even watch a 20-minute video on YouTube. We're going to do scroll, 6 seconds TikTok video, scroll, 2 seconds, scroll, then switch to Instagram, scroll, switch to Snapchat, scroll, switch to YouTube Shorts, scroll, always scroll, then back to TikTok again because you're bored again, scroll, change profile to get a different feed, scroll, 6. We cannot wait for the things that we want no more. We are lazy in that way now as a generation. So that's why often people, including women in this case, are going for the short-term results because they're too ADHD, let's say, to wait it out. But it actually is a good thing for those who can wait it out because now that there's less people playing the strategy of long-term validation and delaying gratification, it's now actually easier to win. That's the positive. If you do play by the correct rules, it's now far easier to win than ever because everyone's so deluded, everyone's so in their own bubble of this propaganda in the matrix that they're doing all the wrong things. But if you put your head down and make all the right decisions, wait it out, long-term gratification, delaying gratification, boom, wait, patience, paciencia, discipline. It's so easy to beat everyone else because there's so few people doing those things that, oh my God, you can just walk in the door and just blaze them down. You come through making all the right moves, winning, achieving, going after your dreams, putting 6 hours into your side hustle, putting 12 hours into side hustle, waking up 4 a.m. in the morning, going to bed at 12 a.m. at night. If you do that for 5 years, 10 years, I'm guaranteeing pretty much you will be successful. Because everyone else pretty much isn't doing those successful moves. They're all doing these short-term strategies, just going for the man, taking his money, going free dinner, instead of weighing it out, going for a real man, successful man, building, going, growing, boom, boom. And by you're 60, you've won life. Never have to work again, got a family that loves you, got a great relationship, got kids that love you, that take care of you, that will want to see you when you're old. Whereas those women there that are going to Dubai, taking that free money, boom, boom, well, not free money, but taking that morally and ethically robbing money. They're taking that. Where will they be in 50 years? Where will they be? Nowhere. They'll be in the gutter, metaphorically speaking. Well, actually, you know what? Metaphorically and physically, these girls will be in the gutter. So never feel resentful. Never.
Your grandchildren, Dad, about how to get the right guy to marry them for generations.
But I think the key ingredient that separates just a woman who wants a traditional household and a woman that is sugaring or like gold digging is attraction. The women that genuinely want a good relationship will put attraction first, then worry about what he offers her and what he's going to do for her. But the attraction has to come from her end first. Sugaring means, what does he do for me first and foremost? How much does he obsess over me? And I don't even care if I'm attracted to him. So she'll have an ex that might be an Indian man, a Chinese man, a crypto guy. There'll be a range of exes, and there's no consistency in what they look like, only in their finances. And that's when you know she's sugaring, because there's no actual type of what she goes for. Whereas women that want a traditional household don't compromise on attraction. They just still want to love the guy, but the guy should do a lot for her. That's I would say the key difference.
Yeah, I think that's just the way that people are. It's like there's plenty of folks who do jobs for companies and they don't believe in the mission. They don't believe in the real purpose of
Yeah, but Orion, but I find that equally as bad. I can just not wrap my head around doing a job, being part of a company where I don't believe in their product or their mission. I just don't. Ethically, I just do not function if I do not believe. Listen, I've kicked out multi-million-pound clients from my business because of ethics and morals. If I don't align with what they're doing, I don't want to work for you. I don't care how much money you're paying me. And I have proven this because some of my best clients in terms of money, so my best paying clients, I have told them straight to their face, go away. We don't want you no more. We've gotten rid of them. In the last 2 years or so, I've gotten rid of more clients than clients have got rid of me. I will not work for clients or for a mission I do not believe in. I have to believe in it first. Then I'll work like a dog for you. If you're not meeting my standards, meeting my ethical standards, my moral standards, I'm not playing. I don't care if you put £10 million on the table right now. I'm not playing. If I find it dirty, find it wrong, if I don't believe in what you're doing, if I don't like you, if I don't see happiness in your business, my company will not be working for you. No gracias. And I understand that a lot of people, they got to pay their bills and whatever, but when you work for a company but you don't believe in the mission, you're actually defrauding yourself. You think you're defrauding them, but really and truly, you're actually betraying yourself. You're betraying your own values. And when a person is betraying their own values, in the end, you're going to pay the price. You can't betray yourself and get away with it. It's not how it works. You can't. And when I say betray myself, it's not like you're just betraying materialistic things. I'm saying when you betray your moral and ethical parts of you, how the hell do you think you're ever going to get away with that? It's never going to function that way. If you betray yourself, which a lot of you do, go into these jobs you hate, you will ultimately get sick. Your body will become sick, both mentally and physically. It's going to wear you down. So it's better, yet again, to in the short term, take the hit by losing that job, lowering your salary, eating less, having a worse lifestyle, to in the end, getting what you want. Because if you do this short-term strategy where you just go get the money, go get the high paid job. Even if you just hate working there, you hate the people, hate the mission, don't believe in the service, don't believe in the mission, don't like the customer service there, don't hate everything about it, you will eventually pay the price. It always works this way.
Service or the good, they're doing it for money.
That's true.
It's like we enter into relationships of all kinds in order to derive benefit. And I do think that there is this way that we can use love, or you're actually saying attraction, which I think is probably more accurate, to kind of cover over that, because if we remove that, we see each other and ourselves in a really stark light where our needs and desires are laid bare, and that's not actually very virtuous, it's not very ennobling, it's not very attractive. And so we, as a culture and as individuals, we like to cover that over with a patina of romance and love and attraction and feelings. But I think if the fundamental value exchange isn't present, then in the vast majority of cases, those romantic covers that we use to obscure that aren't sufficient to keep the relationship alive.
So we need a bit of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. But I just think the order is different. So
Yeah, we need a bit of it. We need a bit of that cover. But guess what? No one wants a cake which is full icing, bro. We want a cake which is mostly cake with a tiny bit of icing on top. It's called the icing on top, not the full icing, bro. And too many times, people enter relationships and they make most of the relationship the icing. We're never building the cake. The problem isn't whether you want icing on the cake. The problem is how much icing are you putting on there to begin with? And how good is your cake? If the cake's strong, all you need is a little bit of icing, just a tiny bit of icing to make it taste a bit sweet. Give it a little oomph. Give it a good little look. But if the cake's weak, you're going to have to cover that all with icing. Because there's nothing underneath there.
genuine love, well, from a woman's perspective, I always tell men, if a woman is not going in this order, she doesn't love you. She has to be attracted to you first. She has to get a bit obsessed with you after, a bit anxious, worried, where's this going? There has to be some anxiety. If it stops there and there's no, she's just anxious and attracted, it will turn toxic. But if you can offer her reassurance and security after that, it will turn into love. It will genuinely turn into love and commitment. Right. Yeah, then it will turn there. But if she doesn't have the attraction and she doesn't have the obsession, but you just try and give her stuff, she'll never.
That's being a pelele. That's being a wimp. That's being a simp.
Get those two things, and those two things are really, really important ingredients as precursors for falling in like love, or at least falling in loyalty. Mm-hmm. And I actually focus more on whether a woman is loyal to you rather than when she's in love with you. And I think a lot of people with low self-esteem.
I would say that loyalty is love for a woman, though, because if a woman is truly, deeply in love with you, you're doing all the right things, she's in love, she will never cheat on you. Never. I think a woman loving you is directly correlated to how much she'll cheat on you. All women, unless they're psychopathic or something, they have emotional needs. They have needs for emotions. So if you're the guy and you're only offering her material utility, she will find her emotional utility elsewhere.
They will focus on, but I know he loves me, but I know she loves me. I know she treats me badly. I know she cheats, but I know deep down she loves me. And I said, loyalty is far more important than love when it comes to a woman. Forget whether she loves you. Who cares if she loves you or not? Is she loyal to you? Is she treating you well?
I agree. As I've gone older and things like that, I don't know if this sounds messed up, but now I'm thinking in terms of me getting married and like that, who the hell cares about love? What does love have to do with anything? I'm speaking about from a man's side. I don't give a crap if she loves me, really. I care about if she's a good mother, she's loyal, she has got a good status to her, she'll treat the family right, keep the image going. Love is so far, I really don't care. And that's possibly because if she is all of those things, she'll love me anyway. But as opposed to when I was 18 where I put love first, I put love at the last thing because I know if she has all the other traits going for her, it will 99% of the time turn to love anyway. But too many guys, they go for, does she love me? Who cares? It's about, does she stay loyal to you? Is she on your program? Is she with it? Is she down with it? She's not. love don't mean a thing. But that makes no sense, because if she loved you, she wouldn't do all the bad things anyway. So it's directly correlated. But what I'm saying is, men need to go into their relationships and finding a woman, not having love at the first round, because men are so romantic. Men made romance. The reason that men made romance and women didn't was because women don't need romance to find most men, whereas pretty much all men need a tool to attract women. And because most men are successful and rich, most men turn to romance to attract a woman. So men are so all about love, 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 love. Oh my God, does she love me? But they're ignoring all of the core fundamentals which make a relationship great. Is she feminine? Is she good with kids? Can she bear children for you? Is she respectable? Is she honorable? Is she inspirational? Does she have good etiquette? So when you bring her to your Christmas parties, at your work parties, she's going to act right. For most men, all they're concerned about is, does she love me? Oh, does she love me? Who cares? Who cares about love? Because love don't pay the bills. Love don't raise a great family. Love is the icing on the cake, not the cake itself.
She loves me. And people with low self-esteem, they want to believe this person loves them as a compensation strategy to the fact that they don't love themselves. But when you truly love yourself, you'll be like, I don't care if you love me or not. How do you treat me is more important.
Correct.
And they don't focus on the treatment.
Absolutely.
That's why all the loser men, the simps, they don't care about how the woman treats them, because that's not what they're in it for themselves, because they are not even finding themselves lovable. Okay, so their main prerogative is love. Whereas for me right now, it's like, literally the only thing I care about is, obviously I got to be attracted to her, first of all, obviously. But the next question after that is, how am I treated by her? And the question after that is, how will she treat my friends and family? Love is so far down the list. I do not care about it. It's nice. It's a bonus. Love is a nice bonus. The same way being happy is a bonus, or laughing is a bonus. Happiness is never the goal. Happiness is the consequence of completing life goals. And it's the same thing for love. Love is just the icing on the cake. If I can get all those traits in a woman and love is there, I've hit the jackpot. But if it's not really there, do I really care? Not really.
Focusing too much
I care about the treatment. Number one.
on the emotion is like paying attention to money locked in a safe at the bottom of an ocean. It's like it might be very valuable, but it's inaccessible. Maybe you love me, maybe you don't. I have to take your word for it, but I certainly don't feel it from the way that you're treating me.
Right. Yeah, and you notice that with your male clients.
But they don't care. Those guys don't care about treatment, because as long as she's there, that's as long as the woman's in his life, for a lot of men, that is love to him. Because they don't know any other way. They've never experienced anything else. If you've only experienced black and white television and you've never seen colour before, are you going to feel some type of way? No, you're going to keep that TV around. But if you've experienced a colour TV and you've got a black and white TV at home, you're going to be really angry about it. You're going to be wanting more. And what I'm saying is, for a lot of men, they've never experienced a woman actually treating them well, like having good treatment, like getting birthday cakes, love letters, birthday notes, massages in the morning, having a woman chase them for a bit. Most men have never ever experienced those things. So that's why they don't care about the treatment, because they never had good treatment from women to begin with. How can you miss what you've never had? There's plenty of tribes that stood around. I've never seen urban civilizations, and they don't miss anything because they've never been in it. They've never seen it before. They've never experienced it. How the hell can you miss or want something that you've never experienced? And that's men. Most men have never experienced true love before. Never. And the reason that I'm so, let's say, moved by this is because I know how easy it is even for me to have been that man. It's not hard to be that guy. All I would have to do is not be hardworking as I am, not be as ambitious. And I'm blessed because I've got high IQ, good parents, had a good upbringing, so I'm in a good position to win. But a lot of men, man, they will never get to experience what men like me have experienced. A woman chasing you? A woman buying you a drink at the bar? What? I mean, I've told guys, like, a number of times, it doesn't happen all the time, but a lot of times, women have bought me drinks at the bar. They're so happy just to want me that they've bought me drinks at the bar. Listen, I've been proposed to 4 times over the course of my life. 4 times. Heck, I know women that have never been proposed to their whole life, and they're women. But as a man, I've been proposed to 4 times. Most men will never, ever get to understand that feeling where the family is so desperate for you to marry their daughter. They're so desperate to you guys to come together. All the cousins, all the aunties, everyone wants you to marry her. And I've had that experience at least a dozen times now where they're just, like, it's like I'm a walking, like, angel now. Like, you can marry her, take her. All the cousins saying that. All the aunties are saying that. All her mother and father are saying that. Because once you become that high value guy, you're wanted, you're in demand. But most guys will never get to experience what I've experienced. Never. Never. Because they're not of that value, and guess what? They never will be. They haven't got the traits, they haven't got the fundamentals down, and a lot of them are lazy. But that's irrelevant. The point is, most of them will never get to experience, and that's why they don't care about good treatment, because they've never, ever experienced it before, Sadia and Orion. And Orion, you should know this because you were once that guy. I mean, from what I can remember, you were working in, like, theatre, and you weren't that much of a successful, high-value man. So you know exactly what the feeling is.
As well, that they focus on the fact that she might, or is
They can.
They can do that.
But I think the real issue with bad treatment in a relationship is a man, for whatever reason, has already decided this is the one I want. This is the one I want to go the distance with. This is the one I want to marry and start a family with.
Yeah.
And they've emotionally committed and made a decision prior to sufficiently vetting the woman. And now they're kind of like behind the 8 ball, and they're realizing.
They don't care about that, because as long as the woman says yes, they're in. They don't care about if the woman treats them well. They don't care if the woman's going to cheat even. I've seen plenty of those women with my own eyes, believe me. All they care about is if she's going to say yes. For a lot of men, if a woman just says yes to the marriage, that is a win for him. And I just find that so crazy, because, like, I would never do that. For me, she's got to say yes, plus she's got to have all these traits and requirements that I need to put on her. But for most men, all the other requirements mean nothing, irrelevant. As long as she says yes, as long as she just wants to have that title of his wife, he is down and in the game, baby. That's the only requirement that the majority of men have. As long as she says yes, he's in. That is the win, because most women would never say yes to him. So to find that one girl that says yes to him, that makes his entire life. Oh, that is so sad, man. That is so sad, because I could never live like that. I could never live like that, man. I'm all about abundance, man. I couldn't imagine in a world where only one woman would want me. Because that ain't the life that I'm in right now. I have the options. I can pick and choose. I just can't imagine a life where you only have one woman to choose from. One. And that woman doesn't even love you like that. For most men, that's better than having no woman at all. Look, most of us that are watching this, you pick your food today based on the other things that you want, that you could have. Okay, so it's like, I'm having salmon today. I could have had beef. I could have had chicken, but I'm not really feeling it. So I'm going to have salmon and mashed potatoes, let's say. You're basing that option based on all the other options. You're not picking the salmon because there's no other food to eat. For most of us watching here, you have a choice of what to eat today. By the way, you're very lucky, because a lot of the world don't have that choice. But a lot of men do not have a choice of what women they're going to have in their lives forever. They're picking that woman because they have no other choice. If you're watching this right now, the chances are your man hasn't picked you because he likes you. He's picking you because you're the only one that said yes to him. unless you have a high value man who has had options, you will never know if your man even likes you for you. He's just happy that you're there. He's just happy that he has someone to go to bed with that night. He's just happy that his relationship status on Facebook is now in a relationship. He's just happy that he can walk to those weddings and parties with a +1. How you treat him, how you love him, how you take care of him is irrelevant. What a sad place for men to live in.
Less than flattering traits.
And that's why there's incels. Most men have given up completely because there is just nothing else for them. Now, am I saying it's not their fault? Hell no. Any man, unless you have an exceptionally low IQ, can become successful in something. They can climb at least one hierarchy and become at least a little bit higher than average. So I blame men. I blame men. But that doesn't change the reality. The reality is most men get ignored. Most men don't get dates. Most men don't get the kind of woman they actually want. Most men don't get good sex. Most men, even if they get into a relationship or into a marriage, they don't get a good treatment from their woman. They don't get taken care of the way they want to get taken care of. They have a mediocre life. They have a life that they did not dream of when they were 5. How many men can honestly tell themselves and say, I'm having the life that I dreamt of when I was a kid? Very, very, very few men. Very, very few men. Most men wake up every day and it's like, this is rubbish. My life is dead. They turn into incels and then they start hating women on a deep level. And that's quite self-defeating because with that attitude, you'll never win with women. You can't acquire what you hate, idiots. But because they believe and actually know they're so far down the totem pole, so far the dominance hierarchy that they'll never get a woman really, they just give up completely. Even though they could improve their skills, even though they could become better, stronger, more valuable, higher status, wealthier, they could become those things, but they're just so low down. It's like, I'm so far behind this race, I'll never catch up. And for a lot of them, that could be true. But for many of them, they could turn it all around. But in today's day and age, we have this defeatist mindset running rampant through this society. And many people would rather just defeat upon themselves, auto-defeat, rather than just stick it out and become better. Not me though, and hopefully not you. Your life as a man is determined by what you put into this life. You dictate your success. You dictate where you're going to go. You dictate who you're going to be. You dictate where you're going to be. You dictate how you're going to be in this life. It's all on you. You're in a free country. Well, mostly free. And for those that don't think that this is a free country, go to other countries far away from here and you see, you'd come back running to the West, realizing that this is a free country. Overall, it's a free country. Yeah, we've got a few, not much free speech as it used to be. Yeah, there are a few socialist ideologies and socialist schemes happening. Yeah. But overall, this is a free country here in the West, okay? You decide how successful you're going to be. There is no one else to blame if you were born in the West but you for your long-term success. It's all in your hands. Stop blaming the world. Stop blaming your parents. Stop blaming your education. Stop blaming this, that, the government, that, Labour Party, Conservative Party, Nigel Farage, Nick Clegg, Boris Johnson, Priti Patel. What happens in the White House does not affect your house. But what happens up there affects everything to do with your life. Your mindset is the most singular thing as to what will contribute to your long-term success. It's all up to you. And that's what's so beautiful about living in the West. Yeah, it's scary because that means responsibility. But in the end, in the final analysis, it's the best thing ever because you actually have the control of where you end up. And that's something that too many of us take for granted in this country. We have these socialists, we have these leftists. Oh my God, it's the government for always blaming the world instead of blaming themselves first. Because if they only knew how much power was inside of them, they could make a difference and become stronger, better, more efficient, wealthier, higher status. It's all in their hands. But they'd rather believe in the more easy to stomach lie. It feels so good to know that, yeah, it's not your fault, you're perfect, you're infallible. It's so easy to believe into that because it takes away all the responsibility away from you. But in order to become a man, you have to take on as much responsibility as humanly possible. Battle through the storms, climb the mountains, traverse the seas. That is what's going to make you win in this world. It's on nobody else. It's all on you.
Client, not the individuals. So I like working with people, with individuals.
Yeah. Is loyalty different for men than for women?
What would you say?
Well, what do you mean by loyalty?
I think so.
Do you mean sexual exclusivity or do you mean emotional fidelity?
All of that.
I would say, look, I think that loyalty for men can be a grey area. They can believe that they're super loyal to you and step out or something like that or watch pornography or that. They still believe that they're loyal to you because they love you more than anyone else. And they believe that and they want to spend the rest of their life with you.
I've heard many men say that.
Yeah.
I love my wife and I fuck my mistress.
Yeah, and they don't have any intention to leave their wife. And if you speak to any mistress, she will confirm this. She will say to me, I was with him for 3-4 years. I begged him to leave his wife. He won't leave his wife. Then when I told his wife he's hysterical, he's trying to save his marriage. I can't.
But the problem with that is, yeah, there's never sex with strings not attached. So that mistress, although she might say that she's happy with the situation, really and truly she wants to be in the wife role. And if you hurt a person that deeply, you will pay the price for doing that. Okay? Because don't ever think that, wow, a woman will put up with her high-value man physically cheating on her with somebody else. It still hurts her. It still affects her. And I know from history that marriage will never be as strong as it could be for as long as the man is cheating on other women. It's impossible. You just can't have it both ways. You're damaging one woman, you're damaging your wife, and you're damaging the mistress. And then ultimately, that man will be damaging himself because he will pay the price.
Can't believe it. I thought he loved me. Men are incredibly loyal to the marriage itself, even if their behavior is not. Emotionally, whatever it is, they want to make it work. And it might be because of the family, it might be kids, whatever it is, but they want to stick at it. Whereas for women, the moment she shows interest in another man, her love for you just goes. It just literally goes. The moment she's disloyal, she will continue to be disloyal. It's a one-way street for women. And one of the things I always say that gets...
If a woman emotionally cheats on you, it's over, it's done. Okay? She doesn't love you at that point. And I always tell men, a woman's love for you is your fault. You get to control it because you do the things that turn you into that guy where she can love in the first place. So if she's emotionally cheating on you, which then turns physical ultimately, you must have done so many things wrong by that point. Now it's too late and you're never going to come back from it.
It's been a lot of trouble is if a woman's cheated on you and you accept it, you are just her free accommodation until she finds someone she wants to live with. Because there is no way we can genuinely, two things, we can't genuinely love you.
The reason why a man can't go back to a woman who has already cheated on him is because A woman could only love a guy that she can respect. And a high value man would never stand for his woman cheating on him. A high value man would just kick her out the doorstep, get that divorce if she needs to get a divorce, and find a woman who treats him better because he has the optionality. So the mere fact that you're staying and putting up with her nonsense, and that's the ultimate nonsense. The worst thing a woman can do to you is cheat on you. And if you're going to stay even through that, that tells the woman that you're a loser. That you have no other options, you're a loser, you don't respect yourself. A woman cannot respect that type of man. Impossible. Because she knows, heart of hearts, that a real man, she would never allow it. Never. She is gone with no remorse. And here's the catch-22. If you were a real man to begin with, she would never cheat on you because she knows the consequences happening to her. That's the irony. The real man. I'm not talking about just high value. I'm talking about the real high value alpha male will rarely get cheated on because she knows if she even makes one bad move, you're gone. So it's much rarer to be cheated on, paradoxically, for the man that can actually move on compared to the man that can't move on. He will get cheated on way more because she knows she can get away with it. Any woman within like 5 minutes, 10 minutes of meeting you knows how far your limits are. It doesn't take a long time. She knows. She knows, like, I better not even look at another man with this guy. Like, this guy, he ain't taking this. And she knows, look at that little type B beta male bunny. Yeah, I can sleep with his best friend and he'll still take me. She knows. She knows within minutes. Women are very smart that way. Big paradox, man.
You and be attracted to you and sleep with other men if she's healthy. And secondly, what's worse than that, even if, let's say, she can cheat on you and still love you, she cannot respect you when you forgive her. And the respect is more important.
That's exactly what I just said, because respect to a woman is love. If a woman can't respect you, she can't love you. Respect is the foundation for any woman's love.
There's nothing that usually pushes a man further away than when a woman is unfaithful biologically. So when you show that you accept that behavior, she can't respect you, because we like alpha, and alpha men would say, you had your chance, I wish you the absolute best, off you go.
Bye-bye.
But men don't do that.
That's borne out.
Most men don't do that. I don't know who, you know what? I don't know who Sadia's been dating. Let's just check. Sadia Khan, because she keeps saying men don't do that. No, it's most men. If you're dating with a high value man, he ain't doing that. Sadia Khan's boyfriend? Let's see. Oh, it says here she's single. Not exactly a good look. Oh, here you go. 10 months ago. Oh, this is another Sadia Khan. Okay, this is someone else. From what I can see here, she ain't got no marriage. So I'm getting rid of you the moment you even kiss a man. Like there's just not even a comeback here. It's so quick. I have no remorse with it. I'm so rapid with it. Why? Because I have optionality, and most men don't. I can afford to get rid of a hot woman easily because I can get many more. Many more.
By the research, there doesn't seem to be any statistically significant difference in relationship satisfaction in men between men who cheat and men who don't.
Yeah, isn't that
there's
crazy?
an enormous relationship satisfaction differential between women who cheat and women who don't. So men cheat because they can on some level, because there's an attractive enough sexual opportunity that they want to take advantage of, maybe for novelty, maybe just because it's sex, who knows? Women cheat because they're emotionally dissatisfied. And the dissatisfaction precedes the attraction.
Yeah, look, I obviously definitely agree that it's worse for a woman to cheat, because the woman will only cheat if she doesn't love you no more. Whereas a man will cheat with you regardless. A man will only show you how much he loves you by how much he commits to you and looks after you. But even still, I still think it's detrimental. I still know it's detrimental that men cheating on their wife in the long term isn't a good long term strategy. Just because you can doesn't mean that you should. So many men have gone down through cheating with their wives. They've lost their positions in Hollywood, lost their positions in sports. Allegations, regardless if they're true or not, have been poured all over them, and now they can't get their career back. Their brand has failed, it's died. It's never a good thing to be cheating on a wife in the long term. Never, never. And even if you don't get physically seen, and you get away with it physically, it doesn't mean you won't get away with it emotionally and mentally. You can run away from the physicality of it, but emotionally and mentally, you can never run, ladies and gents. So yeah, that's Sadia Khan. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. My name is Hezron Springer, and this has been the Hezron Springer Show. Lárgate, chamacos. Te veré pronto en el próximo episodio. Y hasta luego. Y adiós por ahora. See you soon.